The Habs bounced back big as they beat Columbus 3-1 coming off of last night's massive 7-2 loss to Buffalo. I'm going to break down everything that happened and everything that you're going to need to know in this edition of Habs Digest. Hello, bonjour, ahoy, and welcome to today's game reaction edition of Habs Digest. I'm your host, Josh Gosse. Unfortunately, Jesse could not be here with us tonight for the video, but I'm sure he'll be back for the next one. Before we get into the video, really quick, about 75% of you guys watching are not subscribed. Quick reminder to hit that sub button because we're aiming for 5,000 subs. We're climbing slowly day by day, but if you guys have not hit it, please hit it because we have daily Montreal Canadiens content right here on this channel. So that was an interesting game tonight. You know, last night's massive loss to Buffalo was a huge disappointment to me, and I'm sure a lot of you, as Montreal just showed that they really didn't have the heart to keep going in that game. We had some good chances against Buffalo, but we got outplayed straight up to a team on a massive losing streak, and we let some of their players catch fire and demolish us. But tonight was a different story. Despite coming all the way from Montreal, flying into Columbus, I guess it's not that far, but it's still, you know, a Midwest city in the U.S. We fly in there on a back-to-back night, and we come in and we beat the Blue Jackets. It's exactly what this team needed. But not only did we beat them, the big thing to take away from tonight's game is that our defense was really, really different. We really held Columbus to the outside. Not to say they didn't get some good chances in close, but when they did, Monty was there to make the saves. But we seem to have a different philosophy tonight. The chances that Buffalo got in last game, those same chances were not there for Columbus. We didn't allow them to get those early chances as Montreal was pressuring right from the get-go. The first period was really not that exciting. If you watch the game, you might have been tuning it out a little bit because there was not a lot of offense, but a lot of defense. But to me, even though some of the analysts and stuff say, not a lot going in the first, not a lot of scoring, I thought it was a really, really impressive period for Montreal, and I think that first period is exactly what we needed. Coming off a horrible defensive game last game against Buffalo and a poor goaltending performance from Jake Allen, we knew we needed a bounce back, and right away Montreal showed that tonight's philosophy was a bit different than the past. We've heard Coach Martin St. Louis countless times say that Montreal's goal is to score. We want to play fast. We want to score, especially on the power play, things like that. We're an offense-first team, and defense comes secondary, but we need to put pucks into the net. But tonight it felt like it was a little bit different. The defenders were hard-pressing Columbus, not allowing easy zone entries, forcing some dump-ins. We were being way more physical, and part of that was due to the fact that we had XHEKAJ and Gosse both back into the lineup for Harris and Wideman tonight, and I thought that was a huge difference maker. We saw the physicality step up, and to be honest, our D-core had a much, much better game. So Montreal in the first, while, we didn't quite get the offense going at all, neither did Columbus, and that's the important thing. If our offense can't get going, we can't allow the other team to gain confidence, gain momentum with their shooting, their passing, their zone entries, and we did a very good job of that. We were playing like we didn't want to get scored on. Montreal seemed like scared to give up more goals. I don't know if Coach Marty said they'd have to, do sprints at practice if they gave up more than 2 or 3 goals tonight or something, but they were playing outstanding defensively, sacrificing their bodies, and it was working really well. But late in the first, we did have some issues. There was a couple breaks for Columbus, including one where Gosse made a really poor turnover. Caulfield was at the blue line. He kind of gave it down to Gosse along the half wall. Gosse tried to bring it back up to Caulfield at the top, but the pass was weak. Maybe he fanned on it, and then Columbus had a 3-on-1 the other way. Luckily, XHEKAJ was there in the middle to stop the 3-on-1. As soon as the pass came across, a great stick deflected it, but that managed to keep us at 0-0 going into the second period. And I think that was very important. Having a scoreless period after last night's performance is exactly what we needed to get our confidence up. And in the second period, man, we played even better defense, I think. Monty was outstanding, and I'm looking at my notes. If you see me glancing down, I have some notes on the game, right? It's almost a 3-hour game. I can't remember everything off by heart, so I got my notes just here on my phone. But yeah, so Monty was outstanding, especially in that second period. He was scrambling on the ice. He was the first star of the game tonight, as he should have been. He made 28 saves on 29 shots, really backstopping us to a victory after a poor Jake Allen performance. And it gives me a bit of extra confidence in Monty. Yes, he's had maybe 1 or 2 poor games this season, but overall he's been way better than expected. His save percentage is still really high. and he's been giving the team a chance to win every time he's been in net, so I think he deserves a couple more starts than he's currently getting. I wouldn't mind seeing him play maybe even next game. I don't know if Coach Marty's going to want to do that, or you just get Jake Allen back out there to maybe get his confidence back. We'll see what happens, but he was outstanding. There was a sequence in that period. Was it when Columbus was on the power play? I can't quite remember, but there was a scramble. The first shot was a hard shot. It was deflected. Montemo knocks it down. It's in front of him. And everyone was kind of scrambling for the puck. Then they fire another shot. It gets blocked. And then there's a sort of an open net on the side. On the left side, on Montemo's right, if you're on the offense, Columbus, you're looking at it. It's on your left side of the net. And I'm not sure who shot it, but David Savard dropped down to his stomach and covered the side of the net as much as he could, and it went right off his body. It was an open net above him and behind him. All they had to do was elevate the puck, but Savard knew exactly where to go to deflect that shot up and out of play, saving the Habs from going down 1-0 in the second period. I mean, we had some amazing defense that whole period as well, and I thought it was cool because Montreal's defense has been one of their weak points this season. Not necessarily the defensemen themselves, but Montreal's ability to play defense in the defensive zone. We've had a lot of lapses defensively, and it's cost us a lot so far this season. Tonight, we switched up the defensive pairings a bit. We put Mike Matheson with David Savard on the first pairing. We put Caden Gooley with Joel Edmondson, and we kept the classic pairing of FOR XHEKAJ and Jonathan Kovacevic, and I think it worked well. I will say the Gooley-Edmondson pairing was interesting. I felt like I didn't really notice them as much, especially Edmondson, who I, again, didn't think had a great game. And there's some rumblings that we may be trading Joel Edmondson, so keep your eye out on the channel for more news on that. But overall, I think the first pairing was solid, and the third pairing was very solid, XHEKAJ and Kovacevic, and we'll get a bit more into XHEKAJ as we progress in this game recap. But man, the defense was great. Actually, in that second period, there was a bit of 4-on-4 time, and Cole Caulfield, I'm not sure what happened. Korpisalo came out to play the puck, Columbus's goaltender, and he kind of just tried to pass it to his teammate, but Caulfield was able to intercept it and kind of went around Korpisalo. Now, the issue was Caulfield was on his backhand on the left side of the net, so it's really hard to go across his body short side, and he couldn't quite put it home. It was a wide open net, and it kind of just rolled off the end of his blade, I guess, and just went wide, went straight through the crease and out the other side. That could have been a huge momentum goal, another goal for Caulfield, but unfortunately, it didn't happen, and we went into the third, knotted up at 0, but the third period is where things got chaotic. It got way more fun. But it started with a negative play from Montreal. Mike Matheson, who I gotta say, I know I said the first pairing was okay tonight, but that was mostly David Savard, who I thought had an amazing game. Mike Matheson has really not been very impressive to me so far this season. Yes, he is decent offensively. He moves well with the puck, and he has a solid shot. His ability to put the puck on net is quite good, if you ask me, but he's had many lapses in the defensive zone so far, including one tonight, a brutal one. He's behind his own net, and he goes for a little lazy flip pass, just flips it up in the air, right out in front of Monty, right trying to get it up on the left boards to maybe facilitate a breakout, but it goes right to Mathieu Olivier, who scored against Montreal last game from the same spot, right to him, right at the hash marks, and it was a snipe. And there's nothing Montemo could have done about it. It was a well-placed shot over the glove hand, and it made it 1-0 Columbus off a brutal Mike Matheson turnover. That was twice in this game. I mean, Kovacevic earlier, we had some bad defenseman turnovers that led to very good scoring chances, and Montreal went down 1-0 right after that. But the thing that I've been talking about all season for Montreal, the number one thing that I think they've done well that really shows potential for future success, is their ability to have comeback shifts after they get scored on, after they score a goal. They're able to just, after something happens, their ability to regroup and just go back out there with a ton of force, a ton of energy is, amazing. Way, I guess, above par. I don't really like that metaphor, but they're way above average. They're one of the best teams in the league at doing this, if you ask me. They're able to just forget about the goal that just happened and almost use that as fuel, like get angry and come out and have an amazing shift, and a great shift they did. Not very long after that goal from Mathieu Olivier, the fourth line was out there, and I thought that fourth line, Michael Pezzetta, Jake Evans, and Juraj Slavkovsky, had an awesome game. We saw them on the ice a lot tonight. They were playing a lot, and they played with a ton of energy. Pezzetta especially, I thought, like, wow, where has this Michael Pezzetta been? He was physical as he usually is, but he was really scrappy along the boards, knocking the puck loose, really able to get the puck to his line mates for good chances. Slav had a great game. Evans had a great game. And that line is what facilitated the goal for Montreal, the first goal for Montreal. They get in deep. it was, I believe, Slavkovsky or someone dumped it in, and Pezzetta goes in after it, Evans goes in after it, and what ends up happening is it comes back to Xhekaj at the blue line, and in Xhekaj's patented fashion, lobs the puck from the blue line, just a nice, not lob, it's a hard wrist shot that kind of floats in the air right at about the crossbar level, and it looked like it might have been deflected. I'm not really sure. As of recording this video, I'm pretty sure Xhekaj was credited with that goal. I don't know if they changed it. Maybe it shows something different down below. But as far as I'm aware, Xhekaj got that goal. And I think that's going to stand as he floats it through traffic and it goes right over Korpisalo for his third goal as a Montreal Canadien. He has as many goals as Slavkovsky this season, and it just proves again why scratching him seems to be a bad idea for Montreal. Him and Kovacevic bring physicality. Xhekaj was back on the power play too tonight, and he got a goal for himself. You gotta keep him in. You just can't scratch him. He is so important to this team's success, and it was shown again tonight. But not even long after this Xhekaj goal, Montreal continues to pressure. They used that momentum. You know, they got brutally outscored last game. They went down 1-0 in this game, but they tied it up. They got some great momentum. They used that as fire, and the first line came out pushing right after this Xhekaj goal. Not long after, of course, we get a break in. Caulfield comes in and he gives it up to Kirby Dach, who flies in the right wing, and we see who else but David Savard, a man who I thought had a great defensive game and saved a goal or two earlier in this game, crashing the net. Dach centers it for him. It goes right off of Savard's skate, who's kind of just gliding across the front of the crease. Not a kicking motion at all, of course. It just glances off his skate and goes straight into the net. Maybe it was an intentional deflection. In fact, it probably was, knowing David Savard. He has very good control of his body, typically. But he puts it right past Korpisalo with his skate, and it makes it 2-1 Montreal. And you knew that after the defensive clinic they put in the first and second periods, they were not going to let Columbus come back in this game. I will say, though, they really had to work hard defensively with the net empty. Now, luckily, when Columbus pulled the goalie at first, Monahan scored fairly quickly from his own end for his 5th of the season, by the way. 5 goals for Sean Monahan in 20 games now. That's a goal every 4 games. That's about a 20-goal pace. Not bad for a guy that we got with a first-round draft pick for nothing. Fantastic game from Monahan again tonight. And yeah, so Montreal put that in, make it 3-1, and they played excellent defense. Montembeault made some very clutch saves with the net empty. We were laying out, we were blocking shots, and we ended up sealing the victory at 3-1. Some other comments on the game I wanted to make. I mean, I mentioned Montembeault maybe playing a bit better than we've expected from Allen, and he came in and really gave Montreal the boost they needed. I will say, though, the lines were a bit interesting today. I mentioned the defensive pairings. I'm not sure how I feel about Slavkovsky being put back down on the 4th line after what I thought was a great game from him on the 2nd line with Dvorak and Gallagher last game against Buffalo. But I guess in a 7-2 loss, you got to change some stuff, and tonight it worked. Dadonov, I thought, didn't have a particularly bad game on that 2nd line with Devo and Gallagher. Or should I say, do I still have the picture? I don't think I still have the picture. Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Or should I say Michael Rappaport and Gallagher? I don't know if you guys think they look alike, but I do. Jesse does. I think it's kind of funny. So, but Dadonov played okay tonight. A couple turnovers, a couple times overskating the puck, but he created some good chances. And I thought Slavkovsky on the 4th line tonight was good. The 4th line was very good tonight, and I think it showed again that Slav should maybe get some more ice time. Once again, though, Montreal's power play fails to convert, and I'm starting to get really frustrated that we just can't get things clicking. Tonight was even worse than last night. Last night we at least had some good chances, even though we went 0 for 6. Tonight, I mean, we didn't really have very many power play opportunities at all. Was it just 1, maybe 2? But we just couldn't get anything going, man. We were trying to get in the zone. We were failing to get into the zone most times, and it was beginning to get a bit frustrating. But at the end of the day, it ended up not mattering because our defense was so good. At the same time, though, this is a Columbus team that we need to beat. Zach Werenski's not playing. Patrick Laine's not playing. I don't believe Roslovic was playing. There's a lot of bodies. And Merzlikins, their starting goalie, who, to be fair, has been awful this season, was not there. So, there's a lot of injuries to this Columbus team. They're very short-handed. It's a team that Montreal maybe should beat. As not great as our roster is, the low expectations coming into the season, a team like that Columbus team is one that you should beat, and we came in and we took care of business. A big 3-1 win, only giving up 1 goal behind some fantastic defense and fantastic goaltending is exactly the kind of game that we needed on a bounce-back night from losing 7-2 to prove to us as fans and them themselves as players that this team can lock down defensively when we want to, and if we can learn how to do that consistently, this team will be scary. That'll do it for this game reaction edition of Habs Digest. If you enjoyed, leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. Like I said, we're going for 5,000 subscribers if we can. It's a long ways away, but we know you guys can help us out with that goal. I've been Josh Gosse. We'll catch you in the next video.